Hello, how you two doing?
Good, dude. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. Just saw the movie last night. Very much enjoyed your performances in it. There was a lot of emotions on display there, and the thing that really kind of made me curious is, how much time do you have to shoot this movie, and how would you say that affected your performance or added to it?
Pretty quick shooting process. I think we were originally slated to have 21 days to shoot, which was doable, tight but doable. And then when we got out there, there was a historic ice storm that prevented anyone from traveling anywhere. So the crew and the rest of the cast couldn't come in. So it was just Lily and I on the beach in Pacific City, in Northwest Oregon, hanging out, waiting for the ice to thaw. And so that resulted in it having, I think it was 17 or 18 days that we had to shoot the film. But personally, while that's daunting, that those things already condensed are even more condensed because less days means we have to accomplish more in a shorter amount of time. I think there was probably a benefit to it because it myself, the way that I work, the 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 threadbareness of the character, if I'm approaching that myself, it's a little bit easier to repeatedly do the same emotion over and over again. The physical requirements of our shooting schedule, I think, helped us emotionally and physically.
Right. Would you say the same, Lily?
Say so. Yeah, I think also when you are, as an actor, I can probably speak for many actors, we're often in our heads so much. So when you're given too much time, you are given too much time to think about things that you really shouldn't be thinking about. And so when you're rushing through it, it really distracts you and helps you, in turn, helps you create a more give a more organic performance because you're just focused on trying to get it out, as opposed to being in your head about things.
And Michael, our director, I think he was a great communicator for actors. I think he's very gifted at communicating what he wants and knowing how each specific actor will take, like what they need to get there.
Mhm.
So for me, it was a complete game of trust with Michael,
Yeah,
you
he didn't
know?
push us in the very heavy scenes, so I think it still worked out very
Yeah,
smoothly.
yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of emotions on display, and it's like, in how specific were you in your actions in the most emotional scenes? Because this is film acting, it can be way too easy to emote. It's such an easy trap to fall into for a lot of actors. How would you say you avoided that?
It's
Um,
good. It's good to hear that we did.
I thought you might find that reassuring.
well, I have a question for you. I mean, what
Sure.
do you mean by what trap are you specifically referring to?
I think I guess mainly more with beginning actors, like when it comes to showing emotion, sometimes people just go for the emotion instead of just doing the action.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, on the creators as well, the director, the script sometimes, and nothing drives me more crazy than when it's written in and a tear falls from her eyes in this very beat. And I mean, that adds tremendous pressure to the actor and it will not give you an organic performance. But I was saying earlier in a different interview about how there are also actors out there who have this technique to produce tears, that is not necessarily connected to the work in that moment. And I think that's brilliant. It's
It's a
just,
gift. It's
yeah,
great. God bless them.
Mm.
it is so important, and an important tool to have when you are doing this so many times. But then there's also the voice breaking. You can't fake that, no matter what kind of trick you can pull out of your sleeve. And I always strive for a more truthful option. So I'm glad that you appreciated the journey.
It's a wild story. Like there's this story reaches pretty far. It's pretty surreal.
Mm.
But uh, our job at when we were shooting it was where do we base all of this in reality? And when you ground everything, even the broadest of comedy, it's rooted in a reality. Monty Python starts with a truth, and then and I think the same is for horror and thrillers. Um, Truth first.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's a great comparison. And because this is a movie that definitely deals with truth, but also deals with what may seem like illusion or a delusion or fantasy. Was that a challenge balancing those twos out, like what's real and what wasn't in the script?
Yeah, I think that the challenge, yeah, the and how much to play into that, like how much do we know as do we want to pay attention to the reality versus the delusion? Do we leave breadcrumbs or not? And really, that was just up to Michael, like what he wanted. We did play with some things where Lily, we without any spoilers, we both go through the same scenes, and Lily was going to shoot one of hers first, and I wanted to hear how she was going to deliver a specific line so that when I said it later, I knew how that line was said.
Hmm,
Things like that. But that's just a subtle, but and no, I mean everything was up to Michael. Michael was the captain.
definitely. Okay. And regarding, let's see, I mean, you two had, I mean, you started off as a child actor, Ethan and Lily. You got your start on the stage. I was curious to hear from both of you how you think your careers have evolved over time and what choices, when it comes to choosing roles, what affects your choices.
I always want to keep my resume very, very colorful. And outside of being Asian or in cast in only Asian roles, I always want to take on roles that, aren't race specific, but are truly just versatile for me as an actor and for my skills. I do know that I enjoy film and television more because of the fact that I find it so much more intriguing when the acting is read through the eyes. And theater I thoroughly enjoyed, but it's a whole different world. So I hope to continue on this journey to be presented with different things that challenge me and uh, to give me the opportunities to tell all these different moving stories.
The
Great.
theater, crazy. I've never done it. I want to badly, but it seems like it's more weight is on the actor. There's less because when you do a film, I do my interpretation, and then there is the creative choices of the editor, creative choices of the sound design, creative choices of the music, and they could completely change alter my interpretation. With theater, that's you. You are the interpretation as the actor, and it would be a lot of fun. I'd like to do it, but I'm just amazed I'm still getting invited to work.
Mhm.
You
That's
know.
that's a gift.
Yep, it is. And I'm very, very grateful. And every time I'm done with a job, um, I hope it's not my last.
Ah, I hear you. I hear you.